Friday, September 13th, 2013, running commentary number 2052. So I just got back from watching Closed Circuit with my friend Ariana. And this movie made me mad. I've not watched a movie that's made me mad for some time. I saw Paranoia with Ariana the last time we went. We seemed to only watch bad movies together. But Paranoia didn't make me mad. I guess I went in expecting a terrible film, and it was a terrible film. This one I was expecting more from. I knew Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes said this about it. Let's see if I still have this up here. No, I don't. I'll have to find it. But their summary is quite good. The consensus opinion pretty much sums up my opinion, which is, okay, slick and well acted. Closed Circuit, unfortunately, never quite works up a full head of steam with a plot that's alternately predictable and full of holes. So that just about says it right there. I mean, the cast is really good. Eric Bana, Rebecca Hall, Ciarán Hinds, let's see, Jim Broadbent, and Julia Stiles even shows up. Okay, spoiler alert. I'm going to spoil things, but it doesn't really matter because this is not a movie I really care about spoiling for anybody because it was just generally bad. Julia Stiles is there for 2 scenes. She shows up in one scene. She's introduced. She's an American journalist in England working for the New York Times. She's in a second scene, gives information that is not new to either the viewer or the character that Eric Bana plays. And then she's dead. Then she gets killed off screen, mind you. And Eric Bana finds out about it. And I'm not even going to bother with character names because the movie's not worth it. He finds out in a newspaper that she's dead, and that's the end of her. And but then, the sense of danger never really comes to a head here, as it said. It never comes up to a full head of steam. At a very critical point when they're running from MI5, who are trying to cover up their screw up that resulted in a terrorist attack that killed 120 people. They are at Eric Bana's house. Rebecca Hall, Eric Bana, and then the Turkish kid who they're trying to protect because he's got evidence that will basically reveal MI5's involvement in the whole thing. And they're just sitting there having a cup of tea. I mean, I literally think they're drinking tea and just looking out over the Thames as they're waiting to. And they said, it's it's going to be dangerous. They're going to be looking for us tomorrow. It's oh yeah, well, yep. And here they are just sitting at this house when MI5 has attempted to kill them. And actually, they've only tried to kill Rebecca Hall. They tried to strangle her twice. The second time with piano wire. And it leaves not a mark on her neck. And so they show up to court on the final day, and her neck is absolutely pristine. You would never know that a guy had tried to garrote her the night before. And so, yeah. But so these are just a few of the highlights of the completely ridiculous things that occur in this film. Another thing a ridiculous setup where Eric Bana tries to meet with Rebecca Hall's character, unbeknownst to MI5. He's trying to keep it on the down low. So he goes and he purchases a burner phone, like you do at a stand, and I guess sends her a text message, instantly throws the phone away. She gets the text message. The text message is telling her to go to the ladies' room, into the stall, and find a ticket that he had somehow planted there for a soccer game that evening. How did he get in the bathroom and plant the ticket in the ladies' room in a building miles away? I don't know. There's just so many of these little weird coincidences and things like that. And then at the end, it's their attempt to blow the lid off of the whole thing falls apart, and they're basically stuck. They can't reveal anything because they've had an inappropriate relationship, and that would compromise what they've done in their investigation and everything like that. And so they basically get away with it. The Attorney General, played by Jim Broadbent, is kind of rubbing it in their faces that they can't do anything. It's it's going to go away and nobody's going to say a thing. Then at the end, we have them walking along the river, and we hear the sounds of Parliament putting the Attorney General to the coals, saying that there's a cover-up, with no indication of how this information came into their hands. So, yeah, it was the most incredibly frustrating film because I wanted, with a cast like that, I was expecting it to be good. But, they invoked John le Carré in the ads for this, or Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. This is nothing like that. And I thought that maybe it had some of the same people involved. No, not at all. But I was gonna throw it all on the screenwriter. But the screenwriter is actually a talented guy. He wrote Eastern Promises. Let's see what else he wrote here. Can pull this up. Great. Now I got to find it again. Okay, Rotten Tomatoes. But yeah, I mean he's written some good films. He's gonna do Clash of the Titans 3, which is neither here nor there really. But I looked at his body of work, and he's actually had some good films to his credit. So I can't completely hang it all on him. And my computer's not working really well, so forget it. I was gonna find this information, and it's just proving to be too difficult. Anyway, maybe I can't. But yeah, and the director is not anyone of particular note. Stephen Knight. Stephen Knight is the screenwriter. So there could be things that happen. Like the entire inclusion of Julia Stiles, I almost wonder if it was like, you know what? It's like, can we throw an American in there just to appeal to an American audience? Can Julia Stiles somehow be in the film? So let's see. He wrote Eastern Promises, Dirty Pretty Things. Dirty Pretty Things is another film I really enjoy. So yes. So he's got some good films to his credit. But yeah, so the Julia Stiles thing just seemed like, let's just throw her in there. We'll have an American in, it'll appeal to an American audience now, and then we have an American actor in it, etc. And then the ending with the whole voice, like the sounds of Parliament and the Attorney General being interrogated by Parliament about this cover-up. That seems also like it was thrown in there. It's like, we can't have it. It's too depressing of an ending. Throw that in there too. It could be. I don't know. The characters were horribly underdeveloped. I had the most fun, like making connections between actors, like Ciarán Hinds and so Julius Caesar and Gaius Pompey Magnus was there. He was also Mance Rayder, of course. Ciarán Hinds and Bran Stark was in there in a time for 2 seconds as the son of Eric Bana, who had no further impact on the plot of the film, and the characterization was just paper thin. It's just really bad. So yeah, and I was really angered by this movie for those reasons. But there you go. So I can't possibly recommend it to you. Unless you're like a real big Eric Bana fan, Rebecca Hall fan, then check it out. But otherwise, oof. Okay, so till tomorrow, have a good one, and I'll talk to you later.